In a gated Texas community, Black rancher Marcus Reed's mailbox keeps getting destroyed at night, not by kids, but by the HOA's so-called cops, retired officers led by former Sheriff Harold Givens. For months, Marcus swallows his anger, urged by his wife to stay safe, but his daughter Jasmine demands resistance, refusing to let silence be mistaken for weakness. In secret, Marcus builds a mailbox of steel disguised in wood, a trap for the men who harass him. When Harold finally crashes into it, his rage ignites a war that spills into HOA meetings, neighbors' whispers, and eventually the media after Jasmine's recordings go viral. As Harold's past racism and abuse as sheriff come to light, his empire of fear crumbles. Drunk and desperate, he tries one last time to smash Marcus's mailbox, only to destroy himself instead. In the end, Marcus and his family raise a new, simple mailbox, a quiet symbol of survival, dignity, and justice earned through steel and silence. The night air was dry and restless. Out on the edge of Willow Creek Ranch Estates, the silence broke again with the high-pitched whine of tires cutting across gravel. Marcus Reed shot up from bed. Marcus, his wife Lena whispered, half asleep. He already knew the sound was the same every time. Metal snapping, wood splintering, laughter muffled by a car window. "Stay here," he muttered, sliding into his boots. From the porch, the moon lit the gravel road like a stage. His mailbox lay crushed in the ditch again, bent, useless, the fourth one this summer. A set of tire tracks curved wild into the dirt, fading back toward the main road. Behind him, Lena's voice cracked the silence. "It's them again, isn't it?" Marcus didn't answer. He didn't need to. By morning, the smell of fresh sawdust filled the air. Marcus replaced the mailbox with tired hands, hammer echoing in the quiet. His daughter Jasmine watched from the fence, arms crossed, fury simmering. "They did it again," she said, not a question. He kept hammering. "Dad, you gonna just keep letting them, Jas? They think we don't belong here. Everybody knows it's the HOA cops. You see their truck cruising every night." Marcus wiped sweat from his brow, jaw tight. "You don't know what you're saying." "Yes, I do." Jasmine's voice cracked. "You told me to keep my head down at school. You told me to walk away when kids call me names. But now you're doing the same thing, just letting them laugh at us." Her words cut deeper than nails through wood. Lena stepped outside, robe pulled tight. "Jasmine, enough. Go inside." Jasmine's eyes filled but didn't spill. "They don't respect you, Dad. They don't respect any of us." She stormed back toward the house. Later that evening, Marcus sat on the porch alone, watching the road. The HOA called their night patrol neighborhood security, but everyone knew what it was. Retired cops, in trucks with cheap flashing lights, they cruised past his ranch slower than anyone else's, staring like predators circling prey. One of them, Harold Givens, had made it plain the day Marcus moved in. "We like to keep things orderly here." That night, Marcus didn't sleep. At 2 a.m., he heard the growl of a truck engine. Headlights swept across his window. Then, the thud, the snap, the crash. He ran outside. The mailbox gone again, splintered across the road. The truck's taillights vanished into the dark. For a long moment, Marcus stood barefoot in the gravel, fists trembling at his sides. The night swallowed his voice, but he whispered anyway, "They think I'll never fight back." The HOA meetings smelled of burnt coffee and polished wood. A dozen neighbors sat in folding chairs, murmuring over papers. The walls bore glossy photographs of landscaped lawns and community barbecues, all meant to say harmony. Marcus sat at the back, arms folded. He felt every glance that flicked his way. "All right, let's get started," Harold Givens announced, tapping the table, his sheriff's belly pressed against the buttons of his shirt. His voice carried the weight of authority long past retirement. "Any community issues?" Marcus cleared his throat. "Yes, my mailbox has been destroyed 4 times this summer, always at night. Tire tracks, same direction, same pattern. I'm asking for help, for accountability." The room went still. A woman near the front tilted her head. "Maybe teenagers. Kids can be reckless." Marcus's jaw tightened. "Every incident happens between midnight and 2, not kids." Harold leaned back, smirking. "Son, you can't know that for sure." "I'm not your son," Marcus replied, his voice sharp but steady. A faint chuckle ran through the room. Harold spread his hands. "Look, these things happen. Mailboxes, lawn decorations, easy targets. I've seen it 100 times. Not 4 times in 3 months. Maybe it's just coincidence, Harold drawled. Or maybe you built too close to the road. Marcus felt heat rise in his chest. My box is where it's supposed to be. You know that. From the corner, another neighbor spoke quietly. I've seen the patrol truck out late. Always down by Marcus's property. A hush fell. Harold's eyes cut toward the speaker, cold and sharp. Folks shouldn't speculate. Are patrols there to protect this community? Protect who? Marcus asked. The silence afterward was heavier than the question itself. During the break, Marcus stood near the coffee urn. A man approached, tall, sunburned, wearing a golf cap. You know, the man said, voice low, it'd be easier if you just let it go. Mailboxes aren't worth the trouble. Marcus met his eyes. Worth the trouble to who? The man hesitated, then gave a tight smile. Just. Some folks like things the way they are. Some folks don't like me here, Marcus replied. The man's silence confirmed it more than words could. He walked away. Back in session, Harold wrapped up the meeting with a grin. Well, looks like we're done here. Mr. Reed, maybe check with the post office about sturdier mailboxes. That's all I can suggest. Marcus rose slowly. His voice cut across the room. You all want me quiet, but silence won't stop what's happening. Next time, it won't just be a mailbox. Chairs, squeaked eyes avoided his. The meeting adjourned, but whispers followed him to the door. Outside, the air was thick and heavy. Lena waited in the truck. How'd it go? He slid in, exhaling hard. They laughed. Of course they did, she said softly. That's the point, to make you feel crazy. Jasmine piped up from the back seat. So what now? You just let them keep smashing it. Marcus gripped the steering wheel, staring at the dark road home. No, I'll find another way. That night, sitting at the kitchen table, Marcus replayed the voices in his head. Just kids, coincidence, maybe too close to the road. Warnings in plain sight, polite words with sharp teeth. They weren't going to help him. They wanted him to fold, to bend, to vanish into silence. But Marcus Reed had built his ranch with calloused hands and years of sweat, and he wasn't about to let men with trucks and badges, fake or otherwise, erase him. He leaned over a scrap of paper and began to sketch. Not a mailbox. Not this time. Something stronger. Something they would never see coming. The kitchen clock ticked loud against the quiet. Jasmine slammed her math book shut. You're just gonna let them keep doing it, aren't you? Marcus looked up from his coffee. Not tonight, Jas. No, tonight. Right now. She pushed the book aside, eyes blazing. They wrecked your mailbox again, laughed at you in that meeting, and you sat there like nothing. Lena sighed from the sink. Jasmine, please, no. Jasmine's voice cracked. Why do we always have to swallow it? Why do we always have to be the ones to take it? Marcus set his mug down carefully, because sometimes surviving means keeping your head down. Surviving. Jasmine's fists clenched on the table. That's not surviving, Dad. That's letting them win. He stared at her, saw his own father in her defiance. The man who once told him, don't give them a reason, don't let pride bury you. But Jasmine wasn't built for silence. Her fire was raw, unbroken. You think they respect you now? She pressed. Every time you replace that stupid box, they laugh harder. Watch your tone, Marcus warned. Why? So I don't sound angry. So I don't make them uncomfortable. They don't care, Dad. They'll never care. And you, her voice trembled. You're teaching me that it's better to be afraid than to be free. The words landed like stones. Lena wiped her hands, turning sharply. Enough, Jasmine. No, Mom. Tears rimmed her eyes, but she didn't back down. I'm tired of watching him bow his head while they treat us like dirt. Marcus rose slowly from his chair. I don't bow. Then prove it. She shot back. Silence stretched. Lena's breath caught, waiting for him to break. Finally, Marcus spoke, voice low, heavy. You think I don't feel it? Every laugh, every whisper, every damn nail I hammer into another box. I feel it, and it eats at me. But I've seen what happens when black men push back too hard. Cops, judges, graves. That's the truth you don't see yet. Jasmine's jaw trembled. So we're supposed to just take it forever? No, Marcus said. He met her eyes, steel in his voice now. But when I fight, it won't be on their terms. It'll be on mine. Jasmine blinked, her anger pausing just long enough for him to see the hurt beneath. Then fight, she whispered. Marcus didn't answer. He sat back down, grabbed a pencil, and pulled the scrap of paper closer. His hand moved slow at first, then steady lines shaping into structure, sketches of wood framing something hidden beneath. Jasmine's breath hitched. What are you drawing? He didn't look up. Something stronger. The clock ticked again. Lena finally broke the silence, her voice soft but trembling. Marcus, please, don't make this worse. He set the pencil down, staring at the design. It's already worse, Lena. Every night, they make sure of it. Jasmine leaned closer, fire dimming into something sharper. Resolve. For the first time, Marcus didn't tell her to quiet down. For the first time, she saw him choosing resistance. The barn smelled of oil and dust, echoes of Marcus's long days working metal. Sparks hissed as the welder lit, the blue arc splitting the dark. A frame of steel slowly took shape on the workbench, too heavy for a mailbox, too solid for an accident. Jasmine leaned against a post, eyes wide. It looks like a tank. That's the point, Marcus muttered, visor down. The welding torch spat fire again. You really think they'll hit it? They can't help themselves, he said. They want me to break. This time, it'll be their turn. The barn door creaked. His friend Calvin stepped inside, carrying 2 cold sodas. Man, what are you up to now? Calvin asked, handing him one. Marcus lifted his visor, sweat streaking his brow. Building a mailbox. Calvin barked a laugh. That ain't no mailbox. That's a monument. Marcus took a slow sip. They keep coming. I'm tired of being their target. Calvin studied the steel frame, then lowered his voice. You sure this is smart? You know they'll call the cops on you if it backfires, and you know damn well the cops won't be on your side. Marcus met his gaze. I'm not trying to start trouble. I'm trying to end it. Calvin shook his head. Trouble don't end for us, not here. Later, Lena appeared in the doorway, arms crossed tight. She watched the welding sparks fly before speaking. Marcus. He didn't stop working. Marcus kept it. Lifted the visor again, meeting her eyes. What? Don't do this. Her voice trembled, though her face was steady. You put that thing out there, and they'll find a way to make you the criminal. I'm already the criminal in their eyes. Not like this. Not with something they can twist. She stepped closer, lowering her voice so Jasmine wouldn't hear. I don't want the police on our land. I don't want guns pointed at you, or at her. Marcus's shoulders sagged. The weight of her fear pressed heavier than the steel. He set the torch down. So I'm supposed to just let them keep running me down. Lena's eyes glistened. I just want you alive. The silence stretched, broken only by the tick of cooling metal. Jasmine suddenly burst in, defiant as ever. Mom, we can't keep living scared. Dad's right. If they're gonna come, let them come. But this time they'll know we're not weak. Jasmine. Lena began, but Marcus raised a hand. No, she's right. He exhaled, slow, steady. I've swallowed enough of their hate. Tonight, I build. Tomorrow, it stands. By midnight, the box was finished. Steel core, wrapped in timber so it looked ordinary. Bolted to a post buried deep in concrete. To the eye, it was just another mailbox, but Marcus knew it was unbreakable. He stood back, sweat streaking his shirt, staring at the finished work. Jasmine whispered, It looks normal. That's the beauty of it, Marcus replied. Lena touched his arm, whispering like a prayer. God help us. Marcus set his jaw. God helps those who refuse to be broken. The family carried it to the roadside under cover of darkness. The stars hung cold above them. Together, they planted the steel box into the earth. Marcus tightened the final bolt, his hands steady, his heart thundering. When it stood upright, gleaming faintly under the moon, Marcus stepped back. It looked harmless, ordinary, but it was a line drawn in steel and concrete. A line no truck could cross without consequence. The night was too quiet. Marcus sat on the porch, lights off, coffee cooling in his hands. The new mailbox stood down by the road, solid as a pillar under the moon. He waited. At 12:47 a.m., the distant growl of an engine broke the silence. Jasmine peeked through the curtain. It's them. Inside, Marcus ordered. But inside, reluctantly, she obeyed, though her eyes burned with defiance. Lena lingered in the doorway, clutching her robe. The headlights grew brighter, barreling down the gravel road. The truck swerved deliberately toward the mailbox. Marcus's heart hammered. Here it comes. The crash ripped through the night like thunder. Metal shrieked, glass cracked. The truck lurched to a dead stop, its bumper mangled around the mailbox's hidden steel core. Sparks rained as the front end scraped the post. Marcus stood frozen, then exhaled. It held. The driver's door swung open. Harold Givens stumbled out, red-faced, cursing. Son of a... He kicked the dirt, limping toward the box. What the hell is this? Marcus stepped off the porch, slow and steady. Mailbox, he said flatly. That ain't no damn mailbox. Harold shouted. That's a weapon. It's a mailbox. Marcus's voice carried calm steel. Harold circled it, inspecting the wreckage of his truck. You trying to kill somebody? No, Marcus said. I'm trying to stop somebody from destroying my property. Harold's eyes narrowed. You think you're clever? Hiding steel in wood? That's illegal. You'll pay for this. Marcus took another step forward. Illegal is you using your truck to run me down night after night. Harold smirked, though sweat gleamed on his temple. Prove it. From the porch, Jasmine's voice cut the night. We just did. Marcus turned. She was holding her phone, recording the whole thing. Harold froze. His bluster wavered. You delete that right now? He barked. No. Jasmine shot back. Lena rushed to her daughter's side. Jasmine, inside, but Jasmine stood firm. Everybody's gonna see what you do, what you've always done. Harold's face twisted. You don't know who you're messing with, girl. You think some little video's gonna change anything? I built this neighborhood. I keep it safe. Safe for who? Marcus asked. Harold's mouth opened, then shut. The silence between them burned. Finally, Harold jabbed a finger toward the mailbox. This stays up, and you'll regret it. HOA rules say no hazardous structures, and this is a hazard. Marcus folded his arms. It's not coming down. You'll be fined. Then sued. Then Marcus cut him off. Then, what? You gonna drive another truck through it? Harold's jaw clenched. He stormed back to his mangled vehicle, muttering curses. The engine groaned to life, bumper dragging sparks as he limped away into the night. When the taillights vanished, Lena turned to Marcus, pale and trembling. He won't stop now. Marcus looked at the mailbox, solid and unbroken in the moonlight. Neither will I. Jasmine lowered her phone, breathless. We got him, Dad. This is proof. But Marcus knew. Proof was dangerous. Proof turned men like Harold from shadows into predators with teeth bared. And yet, for the first time, the mailbox still stood. He walked down to it, pressing his palm to the cool steel beneath the wooden shell. The line was drawn, and Harold Givens had just crossed it. The HOA hall buzzed with whispers before the meeting even began. Every eye flicked toward Marcus as he entered. Shoulders squared, jaw tight. Harold Givens sat at the front, his arm in a sling, bruises shadowing his face. His truck had taken most of the damage, but pride was harder to fix. He rapped the table with his good hand. Order. Let's call this meeting to session. A woman raised her hand timidly. Is it true what folks are saying? That Harold, the patrol truck? Enough of that, Harold snapped. The issue tonight is a safety hazard on Mr. Reed's property. A mailbox designed to injure. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Marcus stood slowly. My mailbox didn't injure anyone. Your truck did that to itself. Harold's eyes blazed. You think you're clever, hiding steel inside wood. That's a trap, not a mailbox. Against HOA rules and state law. Show me the rule, Marcus said calmly. Harold pulled a packet from his folder, slamming it on the table. Section 14, Line 3. No structures presenting undue risk to vehicles or pedestrians. Clear as day. A man in the back chuckled. So, mailboxes are supposed to break when you hit them. Harold shot him a glare sharp enough to kill. Marcus spoke louder this time, his voice carrying through the room. Let's tell the truth. That mailbox wouldn't be a danger to anyone if certain people weren't aiming their trucks at it. Gasps. Whispers. Harold leaned forward, voice dripping venom. Watch yourself. I'm watching. I've been watching. Night after night, your so-called patrol stops at my land, slows down, circles back. I've counted the tire tracks. I've replaced that box 4 times. Marcus's voice hardened. It's not kids. It's not coincidence. It's you. The room fell into stunned silence. One neighbor finally spoke. If that's true, Harold. Then Harold cut him off. Don't you dare. I've kept this place safe for 15 years. You all sleep at night because of me. Safe from what? Jasmine's voice rang out from the doorway. She had slipped in with her phone raised, recording again. From us, all eyes turned. Marcus's chest tightened. She shouldn't have come. Harold sneered. Little girl, You don't understand the first thing about safety. I understand bullies, Jasmine shot back. And I understand lies. Lena hurried to her daughter's side. Jasmine, please. But Harold was already fuming. You think waving a phone around makes you brave? You think anyone's gonna believe your little story? I know sheriffs, judges, councilmen. I built this town. Folks trust me, not some loudmouth kid with a camera. Marcus stepped forward, voice low but lethal. Touch my daughter with your words again, and you'll regret it. Harold smirked. That a threat? No, Marcus said. That's a promise. The room erupted, some siding with Harold, others murmuring about Marcus's courage. The divide had split wide open. Finally, Harold slammed his good hand down. Enough, Mr. Reed. You will remove that mailbox within 7 days. Failure to comply means daily fines, liens on your property, and legal action. That's the board's decision. Marcus stared him down. I won't remove it. You will. I won't. Their eyes locked like steel against steel. The meeting dissolved into chaos. Some neighbors filed out quickly, afraid to choose sides. Others clustered, whispering, glancing at Marcus with something that looked almost like respect. As he left, with his family, Jasmine whispered, They're scared of you now. No, Marcus said. His voice was heavy, steady. They're scared of the truth. In the parking lot, Harold called after him. You don't know the kind of war you've started. Reed. Marcus paused, turning just enough to meet his glare across the darkness. I didn't start it, he said. I just stopped running from it. The kitchen light flickered softly against the night. Jasmine sat at the table, phone in hand, thumb hovering over the post button. Marcus paced behind her. No, Dad, I said no, he snapped. You put that video online. It'll bring the whole damn town down on us. Police, lawyers, reporters, good. Jasmine cut in. Let them come. Lena set down her teacup with a sharp clink. Jasmine, your father's right. That kind of attention, it doesn't end well for families like ours. Jasmine's eyes burned. Then what? We just keep quiet. Pretend Harold didn't threaten us in front of everyone. Marcus stopped pacing, fists clenched. It's not about pretending. It's about survival. No, Jasmine said, voice trembling. It's about dignity. You keep telling me to be safe, but I'm tired of safe if it means silent. Marcus stared at her, torn between fear and pride. He remembered his father's voice again. Pick your battles. Live to see another day. But Jasmine wasn't asking to live another day. She was asking to live free. Lena whispered, Baby, please. Once it's out there, you can't take it back. Jasmine met her mother's gaze. That's the point. And with a tap, the video uploaded. By morning, the recording had spread. Harold's red face, his threats, his smirk as he dismissed Marcus's words, all captured in shaky phone footage. The comments poured in. Typical HOA abuse. Retired cops with nothing better to do than harass. Protect who? Safe for who? Neighbors avoided Marcus's eyes at the gas station. At work, whispers trailed him down the hall. By afternoon, a local journalist knocked on his door. Mr. Reed, is it true your mailbox was targeted because of race? Marcus stood in the doorway, Lena at his side. It's true my family's been harassed for months. It's true my daughter caught Harold Givens admitting it. You can call it what you want, the reporter scribbled furiously. Do you want justice? Marcus's eyes hardened. I want peace. But peace doesn't come from silence. That evening, Jasmine scrolled through her phone, triumphant. We're trending, Dad. People are finally seeing. Marcus sat across from her, uneasy. People see what they want to see. For everyone who believes us, there's 10 who call it a lie. Then, let them, Jasmine said. At least the truth's out. Lena rubbed her temples. And now Harold will come harder. You know that. Marcus's gaze drifted to the steel mailbox outside, standing tall under the porch light. Then, let him. The phone buzzed again, a new headline flashing across the screen. Former Sheriff Harold Givens caught in racism scandal. Marcus exhaled, slow and heavy. The fight was no longer in whispers. It was out in the open. The news spread like wildfire. By midweek, every local outlet carried the story. Former Sheriff Harold Givens accused of harassment, HOA abuse. Reporters dug deeper. Old court records surfaced, complaints buried, arrests dismissed. Black families who'd left town years ago spoke up. Illegal searches, traffic stops that lasted hours, fines that never seemed to vanish. The pattern was clear. Harold had worn his badge like a weapon. At the next HOA meeting, the crowd was restless. Cameras hovered. A neighbor, usually silent, raised her voice. Harold, is it true you stopped the Ramirez boy 3 times in 1 week for broken taillights? Another, what about Mrs. Johnson, saying you searched her car in front of her kids? Harold's face reddened. Lies, all of it. Folks trying to ruin my name. Marcus sat in the back, arms folded. For once, Harold wasn't the loudest voice in the room. The air had shifted. By evening, Harold was drunk. His truck swerved along Willow Creek Road, bumper half repaired, headlights wobbling. He muttered to himself, gripping the wheel hard. They think they can take me down. That Reed bastard and his smart-mouth girl. I built this town. I kept it safe. The mailbox loomed ahead, steady under the moonlight. Its wooden shell looked harmless, but Harold knew better. Rage flared hotter than reason. One more time, he slurred. One more damn time. He pressed the accelerator. Inside the Reed house, Marcus heard it, the roar of an engine. Too fast, too close. He stepped onto the porch just as the truck veered toward the mailbox. Lena, he shouted. She rushed to the doorway, Jasmine right behind her. The headlights carved through the dark. The impact came like an explosion. Steel met steel. The mailbox didn't move. The truck folded inward, front end crumpling like paper. The windshield spiderwebbed, airbags burst, and the vehicle spun half into the ditch, smoke pouring from the hood. For a moment, there was only silence. Then, a groan. Harold slumped against the wheel, dazed, blood streaking his forehead. Neighbors spilled from their houses, drawn by the crash. They gathered at the road, whispering, pointing. Marcus didn't move. He watched, arms crossed, as Harold tried to lift himself out, staggering, humiliated, every step exposing his weakness. Help me, Harold croaked, but no one stepped forward. The same neighbors who once laughed at Marcus now stood stone still, eyes cold, silent witnesses to Harold's fall. Jasmine whispered, almost reverent, "Karma." Lena pulled her close, though her own eyes never left. Harold. Marcus finally spoke, his voice steady, carrying across the night. "You did this to yourself." Harold swayed, pointing a shaking finger. This isn't over." Then his knees buckled. He crumpled in the dirt, sirens wailing faint in the distance. When the paramedics arrived, they worked quickly, lifting Harold onto a stretcher. Cameras flashed, neighbors capturing the scene. The once-proud sheriff broken beneath the weight of his own hatred. As the ambulance pulled away, Marcus turned to his family. "It's over," Lena whispered. Marcus shook his head. "No, it's just exposed." But for the first time, the steel in his chest felt lighter. The mailbox still stood, and so did he. The days after the crash were strangely quiet. No trucks prowled at night, no tire tracks carved the gravel. Neighbors walked slower, heads bowed, some offering awkward nods when they passed Marcus at the market. Others avoided him altogether. For the first time all summer, the road by his ranch lay untouched. One Saturday morning, Marcus carried a plain wooden mailbox out to the roadside. No steel this time, just oak, simple and solid. Jasmine helped, balancing the post while he dug. "Feels weird," she admitted. "How so?" Marcus asked. "It's just normal. Normal's what we wanted, isn't it?" Jasmine tilted her head. "Not exactly. What we wanted was respect." Marcus pressed the post deeper into the earth. "Respect doesn't come easy, but sometimes silence is a start." Lena handed him the screws, watching carefully. "You sure about this?" After everything, he tightened the bolts. The old one made its point. "This one's just to remind them we're still here." Jasmine grinned faintly. "A mailbox as a flag." Marcus smiled for the first time in weeks. "Something like that." They stood back together when it was finished. The new mailbox gleamed under the sun, modest and unassuming, yet rooted firm. Neighbors slowed their cars as they passed. No one shouted, no one swerved. Just silence, thick, uneasy, but silence nonetheless. That evening, the three of them sat on the porch, the mailbox, standing proud at the edge of the road. Jasmine leaned against her father's arm. "You know, I used to hate how quiet you were. Thought it meant you were afraid." Marcus glanced down at her, "And now I get it. Sometimes quiet is louder than shouting." Lena rested her head on his shoulder. "And sometimes steel doesn't have to be hidden in wood." Marcus's gaze lingered on the mailbox, his voice soft but firm. "We're still here. That's enough." The crickets sang, the stars stretched wide, and for once, the silence of Willow Creek belonged to them.